I'm going to tell you everything you need to know before buying a Voltra 1. This is the latest and greatest smart home gym tech. Goes from 5 to 200 pounds of resistance. Essentially a single stack cable system, a ton of different modes from resistance bands to damper mode, isokinetic, isometric. I'm going to explain some of the pros, some of the cons, what I think the use case is for home gyms, basically whether or not you should get this for your home gym or maybe wait a few years before buying it. So let's check it out. Hey guys, this is Michael with the Jungle Gym Reviews. Today we're reviewing the Beyond Power Voltra 1 as it's officially called. This has been getting a lot of hype and a lot of attention lately. And I know there's people on all different ends of the spectrum, on the hype train, on the naysayer train. And I really want to bring my engineering hat and analytical lens to this and what basically my practical use has been with this. Now, before I get into the video, if you could quickly hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already. It's going to continue to help us grow the channel and make sure you get notified when we post our weekly reviews throughout the rest of 2025. And if you're interested in purchasing this after the review, please check out that affiliate link in the description below. This is the Voltra. It's a unit about half the size of a size 12 shoebox. And this has in it a direct drive motor that is the heart and soul of this system. Essentially a single stack cable system ranging from 5 pounds all the way to 200 pounds in 1 pound increments. Removable, semi-permanent thing that you can take with you anywhere you go, whether you want to take it with you in the car to your friend's house, if you want to pack it in a suitcase and take it on the go. It's smart tech integrated, so then it does things like count your sets and reps and have a touch screen and let you change the weight, change the different modes. But I want people to know first and foremost, this thing is a cable machine, but it's also a lot more than a cable machine. And it also then allows for a lot more uses than just a cable machine. They have different mounts you can attach it to. This is their sliding rack mount this is shown on here. So I'll pull that pop pin. This is, fix the rack and it slides down or up depending on how you want. Something like this, which is the Darko Voltra mount. Locks in with a 1-inch or 5/8 hitch pin. Still has the Beyond Power receptacle. And they have other things like their strap mount, which basically has a seatbelt style system and a magnetic back that you can mount to things like a 3x3 rack still, but it's really meant for more off-rack applications. So mounting it to whatever fixed surface you want that is not a 3x3 power rack with some sort of holes. Then they have the pull-up bar mounts specifically for using like on a pull-up bar or something to be able to do pull downs from. So then the implications of being able to mount it to pretty much anything, anywhere, take it with you, have 5 to 200 pounds of resistance and all these different modes, you can start to get very, very creative and specific when it comes to what exactly you can do or even think of or dream of with this Voltra. So I like to use it, I will say a little more traditionally for strength training, pretty much exactly as you would use a cable system. But the nice thing, I can put this anywhere and at any angle, at any height that I specifically want. I can put it super low and put it on one of these front feet and do things like belt squats or curls where I'm standing right over the pulling path. Do very traditional things like tricep rope push downs. I can do all of the exact same things I could do with a single stack cable system, now with just a movable, software integrated, battery powered thing. Now the battery is one thing I think people are really interested in, which is how long it'll last. I have only had to charge this thing maybe once every week, once every 5 days. And that's 5 days of working out with anywhere from 2 to 5 exercises using this, 3 to 5 sets per exercise. So let's say about 15 sets a day on average. So I was actually pleasantly surprised. I thought I was going to have to each workout, take this thing down, go take it over to the charger, plug it in, wait forever. But no, this thing actually lasts about a week, which is actually absolutely fantastic for me. It does have some automatic sleep settings, so I actually literally don't even turn it off. I just leave it like this and leave the room. I don't know what the sleep timer is, and I think you can actually program that and play with it, but it will eventually just kind of go in sleep mode to the next time you come here and tap the screen, tap the button. They do have a warranty on the battery. They do have a warranty on the motor. I think in the US, it's 12 months standard warranty for everything, but that's pretty typical for like electronic integrated warranties. When you buy it, you can actually add on a 3-year warranty, 36 months, and you can actually add that on up to 90 days after you purchase it. This, because it has a battery, because it has software, because it has things like a screen, like a motor, basically do have some sort of shelf life on them. Now, I think this is people's biggest complaint is that, oh, well, we don't know how long it'll last. And yeah, that's very true. This in 10 years versus a mechanical weight stack in 10 years, my bet would be on a mechanical weight stack as far as not needing to be serviced or any parts replaced or damaged. So that's kind of one of the main pros for mechanical units is long-term durability, although it's really hard to say that this will not last. All signs point to the fact that this will be very promising, that it will last a long time, a lot of uses. Now, the ability to, again, move this to any height you want makes this really nice. You can also do different orientations, whether you want to do horizontal or vertical. Let's see here. So that gives you a little more options as far as profile. You can actually change the different orientation. So, and the screen itself, as you see here, will actually change as well. The cable, you can pull 360 degrees any way you want. The overall cable length is actually 8.5 feet, just as long, if not longer, than any traditional cable system. You can also adjust the cable length to start at different lengths. You can basically set it the starting length of the cable. So right here, I long hold it and it calibrates to start at 16 inches. So depending on if I wanted to do some sort of movement where I didn't want it to go all the way back to the base unit, you can start it at the different lengths you want. And if you want to shorten it, everything is just very easy and intuitive to use. The user interface itself is actually very nice, very simple, and makes this thing just very easy and intuitive and honestly just kind of a pleasure to use. You get a little bit of haptic feedback when you are adjusting this up and down. You can actually feel the vibration. You have this little scroll wheel that allows you to scroll through all the different weights, or you can set these quick adjust increments at the top where it says +5, -5, and it'll jump in whichever weight you want. Down in the corner, it also has this smart pin, which is basically preset weights that you can program in. If you frequently find yourself using certain weights, you can change what those are to basically quickly get there. It's very clear what the main modes are: weight training, resistance band, and damper. And then when you hit the up, it shows the other three: isometric, isokinetic, and this custom curves, which I will now mention because it is a piece of smart tech. It is Wi-Fi integrated, it is Bluetooth compatible. Then it has an app on your phone, which actually allows a little more customization and specificity than just trying to interact with the screen. You can do things like pre-programmed workouts so that your entire workout from start to finish, you have your sets and reps and everything all integrated in there. It'll automatically start a rest timer for you at the top. Do you need it? Absolutely not. But it is just some nice features to have that you would expect from something that is software integrated. So I think they've done a very good job at making this very simple for users of all ages and all demographics to just come on, be able to quickly pick and or play around for a couple minutes and very quickly figure out how it works and how it's meant to be used. There's a bunch of different modes with this. I'm going to quickly try to explain them. The weight training mode is what I would expect is the most traditional, especially for home gyms. It's very smooth and snappy. The cable feel, it basically feels like one of the best cable systems you've ever used. You can add eccentric onto the weight training mode, meaning you can add weight on the way it retracts back in. There's chains, meaning that it gets harder as you pull out of the unit the farther away you go. There's also reverse chains, meaning it's the inverse and it just gets easier the more you pull out the cable from the unit. Resistance band mode, you can set the band and the length. It simulates simply a resistance band, which is a little snappier and rubbery. The damper mode is a slow drag mode. I personally haven't found too many ways to use this, but I think it can be used for dynamic movements. Things like maybe some sprints or resistance or like wood chops. Then there's isokinetic, where you basically just set a speed where the cable will not pull out any faster than that. So this is really good potentially for things like rehab, where you want to control how fast you can move. Then there's isometric, reading back the feedback of the force that you exert on the cable. This is great for testing potentially peak strength, muscle recovery, or side-to-side imbalances, and basically just measuring progress over time. Now, they also do have a new rowing mode that I don't think I've updated since it literally just came out a day or two before filming this review, but I figured out ways within the bounds of the other existing resistance modes prior. And honestly, unless you had that side by side, I would guess most people honestly wouldn't know too much of a difference. So there's a lot of pros when it comes to this. Then what are the cons? I would say the main con above all else is the price. This is $21.99. Now, a comparable mechanical weight stack, single stack, is anywhere from $1,000 to like $1,200 depending on the brand. But again, it's limited on the weight. Most functional trainer and or mechanical weight stacks are 2-to-1 ratio. So you aren't able to usually do something like low rows and lat pull downs natively without coming up with some sort of solution. 200 pounds on this is basically the equivalent of what a 400-pound weight stack would be in a 2-to-1 pulley configuration. Some other cons, because it is electronic, there are things like the motor that could potentially go bad. Just like your phone, the battery can go low. Just like your phone, if you leave it in the sun for too long, it can overheat. I haven't found that to be the case at all. I've used this in open door workouts in above 90-degree temperature with above 90-degree humidity. This thing's been fine. It's been definitely hot to touch, especially when you have your hand over the motor here. Considering the pros and cons, it's definitely very subjective to the eyes of the individual, whether or not you're willing to spend that kind of money. This has a lot of obviously like sports specific applications with the different modes outside of traditional just strength training, which then make this applicable, usable to a wide variety of training. In the lens of just home gyms, do you really need that? Most people probably use this as two things. One, a weight stack that you can put all over the place. Two, because home gyms and gym equipment are a hobby and it's fun to tinker and play around and connect things together. You know, you can experiment with connecting it to things like a lever arm. So rather than loading it with a plate, it's loaded with a cable mounted to a rack. You can do things like that. You can get a leg press machine, and instead of loading it with plates, you can load it with Voltra. You can absolutely just do absolutely anything. I didn't want to go over into all the exercises you could potentially do and things you can possibly try because it's so truly unlimited and you can kind of do honestly whatever you can dream of. All things considered, would I buy this for me? Yes. And I'll even go one further to say, I have one right now. I'm going to have a second one because I want to be able to do things like connect them to lever arms, like make a super wide functional trainer by putting one on a Darko mount here and one on a Darko mount here and be able to do the most wide cable flies. For me, as an engineer, as just an avid home gym goer, $2,200 on an educated guess that this will last me anywhere from 3 to 5 to 10 years. And if something goes wrong, I'm okay paying for a battery replacement or whatever that is. Other people who are more, I would say, on the budget end or like utilitarian, like get a plate-loaded functional trainer, get a plate-loaded single stack cable column, just use a bar, just use weight plates, just use dumbbells. The whole concept of home gyms in general is so subjective based on your space, your needs, your training style, budget, and this is literally the exact same considerations as that. We are going to see a whole lot more of things like these coming in the future. I've done a review in the past of the Speediance Gym Monster. You've seen things like tonals, which are wall mounted. There's other competitors to this currently coming out and or on the market soon. Maybe we'll have some side-by-side comparisons over the next 6 months to a year because people are going to continue to have questions about which one's best for the price, which one's more capable. I'm excited to have smart tech make its way into home gyms, but is definitely not going to wipe off power racks and cable stacks from the face of the earth. But I think we will see over the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, things like this making its way into more mainstream gym setting. Maybe Rep will have an Aries 4.0 with electronic motor weight stacks or some sort of built-in screen. That's a very realistic possibility. That's just the way our society and tech integration is going. So guys, that's it for today's review of the Beyond Power Voltra 1. If you have any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to answer or at least try. This is Michael from the Jungle Gym Reviews. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.